What's up guys, Sunlo here. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we are here back again with the Southern Pacific GS4 number 4452 from the 2013 run made by MTH. So, this is a War Baby Black GS4 that I picked up earlier, or actually no, I think in September of 2021. September this year basically. And it's December 24th. So it is Christmas Eve. I finished this engine about 2 weeks ago, and I finally am now making the video on it. So we're gonna take a look at it, showcase it. And I've been meaning to do this video for a while now, but I finally got the engine finished this month. So now we're gonna take a look at the engine. So as you all know, this engine is heavy. It's pretty heavy. It's die cast. It pulls very well. Pulling power, I so far have measured 8 point something ounces. It pulls 50 cars by itself, which is very impressive. It's got a die-cast tender, die-cast boiler, die-cast chassis, and KD couplers, if your one is equipped with them. And sometimes on some versions, they even have the remote couplers on the tender. But anyways. If you know anything about the MTH GS4s, it's MTH, so it comes equipped with MTH's Proto Sound 3 sound system. Not very good by modern standards. Anyway, because when I bought this GS4, it didn't run. So when I bought it, I took everything out and fitted it with a temporary Bachmann decoder until I could get a lock sound. Then after I got a lock sound, I took that Bachmann decoder out. I had a lock pilot in it for a while because I ended up doing the lighting on this engine, and the lighting is incredible. Then I posted a video of the progress so far on the GS4 showing all the lights, which we will take a look at in a minute. And then finally I bought a lock sound for it, and now it has sound. And the sound is incredible. So we're going to take a look at the lighting first, so let's get the headlight on. So there's the headlight, and of course you can see the number boards on the nose come up. And it's very nice, warm white. And it's pretty good. I like the way it looks. Let's go take a look at the Mars light. So there's the Mars light. It looks really nice. And for some people who don't follow my channel, on GS class locomotives, I like to do a fictitious red light, which the real thing did not have. But it just looks freaking cool. And look at how cool that is. So basically, you might ask, how are you able to do two lights in one thing? There's a surface mount right on the side of the white lights bulb. These are LEDs, not bulbs. But basically, on the side of the LED bulb, there's a red surface mount right on the side of it, and it's hooked up to the decoder. So that's how the light is in the casting still. And it looks pretty good. Camera doesn't really do it justice. If I put it front on, which I might have to turn the headlight for it to be able to see it a little bit better without the headlight glare, looks pretty nice. Nothing that the real thing didn't have, but it just looks cool. But yeah, we're gonna get the headlight back on and turn the regular Mars light on. Next up are the running lights. There's one on each side, and they look really nice. And turn them on so you can see all the rods moving it a little bit easier. There's also a cab light, but in today's episode we're not going to be able to take a look at it because Easy Command won't let F9 turn on. But with F9, that would turn the cab light on, and it would turn off when the engine stops moving. And next up is the Firebox markers and number boards, which to get those all on, I have to turn the sound on in this case. I could make them a separate function, but again, with Easy Command, I have to use that. I will probably end up replacing these DCC systems still in the future, which I really do need to. But anyways, we have marker lights, number boards, and a firebox. The number boards and the marker lights already came with this engine, which is nice. That's a really nice touch. So in total, the lights I've added is firebox, running lights, and red Mars light. And they look really nice. It's a really nice effect. It gets an engine a much better appearance. You know, it looks cool, especially that firebox. It really makes the engine pop. And the sound is really good too. So if you know, remember my 4449, this has the lock sound file for that. Sounds really good. It's very loud, very clear. The speakers are in the tender, of course. The decoder is in the boiler, so the engine can actually function without the tender. It'll stall probably all over the place and probably won't run as good, and you can't really couple up to anything very easily. I mean, you have the front coupler, but you know, this isn't a cab forward. You're gonna have a really hard time to do anything without that. But you could if you really wanted to. There is another decoder in this engine, but that is in the tender, and that is specifically just to control the rear light. And what that decoder is just one of those 1 amp Bachmann decoders that you find in most Bachmann DCC blue box engines. And now you may ask, why did you put that thing of all things inside of the tender? Well, because you're not hooking that thing up to a motor, that mute button's really nice sometimes. Because you're not using that decoder to control a motor, and that's the only thing those decoders are good for is lighting, that makes it perfect for that purpose. Because if I was using it to control a motor, there would be no way in hell I would decide to use that decoder to control a motor for a engine like this. So yeah, that's what I did, and there is that decoder just specifically to turn on the rear light when the engine goes into reverse. The engine also has Rule 17 lighting too, which gets brighter when the engine starts moving, and it's pretty good. Now, one thing that's one big and minor annoyance with this engine, and that is not the engine's fault, it's the fact of it being an MTH. MTH engines are no longer in production at the moment, and parts are really kind of at the moment hard to come by. I had a couple of drive problems with this engine. I fixed them though. Sometimes if you have to take the gearbox out, the gears might not mesh up properly with this engine's drive gear, and so sometimes it won't work, or we'll skip gears or the gears will disengage. So I fixed that and got it to work now, so now the engine will pull still, and not only that, it will not lose traction and the gears will not disengage. So everything's meshing, everything works. The engine can pull 50 cars still. It's a worthy engine. It's a very strong engine, that's for sure. It's one of my favorites. I love this thing, especially because I love GS4s. They're my favorite 484s. You know, the GS4 is basically how I started this hobby. You know, it's not my favorite engine per se. That would go to my big boy over there. But this is the engine this got me started. The GS4 is what brought me into the hobby. Specifically 4449, but the GS4 itself brought me into the hobby. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at this thing running with the train and come back with some final thoughts. So I hope you enjoy. We're gonna run it with freight, and then we're gonna probably run it with passenger later. Most likely gonna just stick with freight for now, because of my cars. I don't really feel like getting those out onto the switches right now, but we're gonna run these with this engine, and I hope you enjoy. Let's see it in action. So I think that concludes the demonstration of the rebuilt, newly improved Southern Pacific GS4 from MTH. I think I did a really good job. I think I did a good job with the lights, sound improvements, some drive modifications, some improvements to the tether as well, and how the thing is connected to the engine and the tender. Which, how I did it, because this thing only has 2 contacts for the wireless drawbar, I decided to reuse those, of course, for the track power, and I decided to add another tether. It's a 2-pin tether, only 2 wires, and those are for the speakers. So if you want to run the engine, like I said, without the tender, you can't do that. But of course, I am never going to sell this engine because I love this thing. It's good, it's strong, it's fast. It's a 484, which is another reason I don't think I would sell it. I've only sold one 484, but I traded it for another 484, and that was for the Santa Fe Northern. I traded 4449, the cracked out Bachmann GS4, for the Bachmann Santa Fe Northern. And the reason I did that is the Santa Fe Northern was one I could never find anywhere. And another reason I did it is because no one makes Santa Fe Northerns but Broadway Limited. Bachmann chickened out and never made them again. So I decided to pick that Bachmann one up, and it's pretty good. It pulls very well, you know, it holds up. You know, the one thing I just have to make sure is keep the rods intact, and other than that, you have a pretty solid engine. But other than that, the MTH GS4 is so much better, so much superior, so much faster and stronger. It's so very I can't even talk because of how good this engine is. It's so detailed and so good to where I really cannot wait for the scale change release. And I tell you, the day that the 4449 gets released, I will be trying to put a pre-order in as best as I can, because that engine, I am very excited to see how that turns out. And I will even pick up a GS6 if I can as well, 4460 if I have enough money to do so. So soon, eventually, I'll have 2 GS4s again. I've had 2 for a little while. Hopefully, I can have 2 again, 4452 and 4449. Scale change releases for 4449 and 4460. I hope those come out hopefully next year. I hope that's their first Steam release. It's the GS4s, because those I really hope come out. But I hope you guys enjoy. The next product spotlight that I've upgraded will probably be this gorgeous Union Pacific Challenger. I haven't done a update video on it yet, but I will do a showcase for it soon, and I will also include all the footage from the club with this engine in this video as well, after I end this. So again, I hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. I hope you stick around for the Challenger showcase, and maybe I might do the Big Boy showcase, even though I've already done the Big Boy before. I might do a update showcase just to, you know, bring the people who haven't seen this engine back into action, so that way people can see this engine, that wonderful Big Boy once again. Because in my opinion, in terms of the Broadway Limited Big Boys, granted mine's isn't the oil tender version of 4014, but I think I have, in my opinion, the best Broadway Limited Big Boy that's ever been made. Only because of the amount of work, time, and effort I've put into that thing. So, you know, there is no smoke because I don't want to have residue on my stuff, and there's too many things that's in this engine just to have a smoke unit. Plus, it would draw too much current, which is another reason. But, you know, I do hope that you will see that. So if you guys want to see the update for the Big Boy, let me know. I probably will make one anyway, just because it was fun. I love that thing. It's a fun engine to run, especially after I got 4014's whistle on it, which you have also heard in this video. But again, sorry for stalling, but I hope you enjoyed this engine, and I hope you enjoy the club footage I've taken of this engine. So hope you enjoy. Thank you for watching.
I know, I would too.
Ryan, I got Big Boy coming out.